So I'm going to ask a question, even though I'm fairly certain I know the answer to it. I want to go ahead and ask it anyways. How many of you guys tend to eat food on a day-to-day basis? Now, none of you guys actually have to answer this because I'm fully aware and probably know the answer to this. We all need food to survive, and we all eat food on a day-to-day basis. With that said, that doesn't mean we should be eating anything just labeled as food. Now, what am I talking about here? Well, the main culprit is fast food places. They're all over the place and they're very accessible, and it tends to be everyone's first choice on what they want to eat. As a personal trainer and someone who's worked in the fast food industry, it's really no good for anybody. It's no good for the ones that are eating it, and it's no good for the ones that are working inside of it. As people, we should all strive to not eat fast food because it promotes terrible eating habits as well as provides a terrible work environment to be inside of. Fast food is everywhere. It's on your phone, it's on social media, it's on billboards when you drive, it's on the TV. You can't escape some type of advertisement of fast food. Tell me if you've ever heard something similar to this. $5.99, large burger, large fries, large soda. Quick, fast, accessible. It's no wonder why we all tend to go to fast food. It's quick, we can get it in 2 to 3 minutes. We don't have to cook the food, it's at our hands, it's at our fingertips, and we can eat it right away. It's a quick fix. However, no one ever talks about the bad sides of it. Fast foods are littered with excess sodium, excess sugars that should not be in our systems. The processed food, it should not be lasting more than a couple days, but these foods tend to last weeks, and we can still eat them. None of that belongs in our bodies. And according to an article in thehealthline.com, 2 out of 3 Americans are obese, and that should not be the case. And with the increase in fast food restaurants as well as the increase in obesity rates in America, it's not hard to see that this isn't really a coincidence. This is more of a problem, and we need to fix it, and the only way to fix that is to not eat fast food at all and not let it get to us with these big advertisements. But like I said before, fast food is not the only issue here. It's also the ones that are making it inside. Now, they're not at fault for having the job, but the fault is in the job itself. Having worked in fast food, it's a terrible work environment, and I'm sure anybody who has worked in it will agree with me. Everyone's very negative, everyone's incredibly stressed, and it's just not a great environment to be in. I've never heard of anybody who's genuinely excited to work in a fast food burger joint. Also, what doesn't help are all the managers there who have even more stress, putting inventory, having to get everybody's schedule ready, having to make sure they're selling enough product. It's no wonder why we're all so stressed and nobody really enjoys their time being there. And also, according to the Griffith University, it's not only just a bad place to work, but it's also a very dangerous one. And not to mention the fact that most people working in these fast food restaurants, they tend to be young kids, 16 through 18-year-olds. And to think that this is their first impression of a job, working in a fast food restaurant where customers are always yelling at them, where they're at fault for everything when they just don't know any better, it's a terrible first impression to give off of. And also, due to the hazards of things like slipping, there's tons of water on the floor, there's tons of grease, it's bound to happen. That's why they urge us all to get non-slip shoes, but accidents still tend to happen. Burnings, there's tons of ovens in a restaurant, there's fryers. I know I've had a good amount of burnings in the past working a fast food job. And the most dangerous, and the one we hope that never happens to any one of us, is robbery. Fast food places are very high risk for robbery. Each day they have a ton of cash in their cash registers, so it's to no wonder as to why fast food places get robbed a lot throughout the day. All in all, the best thing to do about fast food is just not eat it and not give them our money. Fast food promotes terrible, terrible eating habits that should not be in our systems, as well as just gives off a bad work environment to be in and around. The best way to communicate with these companies and big businesses is just not to spend money on this type of food. If we don't give them the money, they won't be able to fund these corporations that are letting us eat this food just so they can get rich and just see us deteriorate with the food inside of us. The best thing to do is just get an alternative to quick, healthy foods. and stop fast foods from thriving, because the longer they keep doing that, the longer you'll keep eating garbage and you'll just deteriorate into nothing.